There's something that happened to you as a kid that you probably never fully grew out of. You turn off the light, climb into bed, and suddenly that chair with clothes draped over it stopped being a chair. It became something. Your heart rate spiked, your ears sharpened like radar, and even though your rational brain kept insisting there was nothing there, another part of you, a much older part, was absolutely convinced otherwise. That feeling has a name: nyctophobia, the fear of the dark. And here's the strange part. You're not actually afraid of darkness itself. Darkness can't hurt you. You're afraid of what darkness might be hiding, and that distinction changes everything. For about 99% of human history, nighttime was the most dangerous part of the day. No electricity, no flashlights, no security cameras. Our ancestors spent their nights practically blind in a world full of predators who could see perfectly well in the dark. Lions, hyenas, snakes, they all hunted at night, precisely because they knew we couldn't see them coming. So the human brain did what it does best. It adapted to survive. It built a system that, faced with a lack of visual information, doesn't default to assuming everything's fine. It assumes the opposite. This mechanism has a name in evolutionary psychology: agency detection bias. Basically, your brain would rather be wrong 1,000 times thinking there's danger when there isn't, than be wrong once thinking there's no danger when there actually is. Because the first mistake just gives you a scare. The second one could cost you your life. That's the same reason you mistake a branch for a snake or a shadow for a human figure. It's called pareidolia, and it's not your mind malfunctioning. It's your mind working exactly the way it was designed to work hundreds of thousands of years ago. Now here's where it gets interesting. When light disappears, your brain loses roughly 80% of the information it normally uses to make sense of your surroundings, because sight is by far the sense you rely on most to feel safe. Without that input, the amygdala, the brain region responsible for processing fear, starts working with whatever scraps it has left: sounds, textures, temperature shifts, and above all, your imagination. And your imagination, in that context, almost always picks the scariest possible explanation. Here's something you might not know. Your body releases more cortisol, the stress hormone, when you're in an unfamiliar dark environment, even if you consciously know you're perfectly safe in your own bedroom. It's an automatic response, not a decision. Your sympathetic nervous system kicks in, your heart rate climbs, and you literally enter a state of alert that your body designed to help you fight or run, not to help you fall asleep peacefully. There's also a detail that explains why kids are so much more afraid of the dark than adults are. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that lets you reason things through and calm yourself down by saying, "That's just a code hanging there, not a monster," doesn't fully develop until well into adulthood. In children, that region is still under construction, so the amygdala basically runs the show with nobody around to talk it down. That's why a kid can be genuinely terrified of something an adult wouldn't even register. What's fascinating is that this fear shows up in nearly every culture on the planet, regardless of language, religion, or era. Anthropological studies have found stories about nocturnal creatures, spirits of the dark, and warnings against going out at night in communities that never had any contact with each other. That's not a coincidence. It's a sign that this fear wasn't learned from a horror movie or a scary story someone told you as a kid. It came pre-installed. But here's the part most people never stop to consider. We live in a completely different world than the one that shaped this instinct. You have electric lights, locks, alarms, a flashlight in your pocket, and basically zero real chance that something is actually waiting for you in the dark of your room. The danger your brain is trying to anticipate has, for the most part, stopped existing. But the mental software that installed that alarm is still running exactly the way it did 100,000 years ago, because evolution is slow and technology is fast. Your body never got the update. So next time you feel that chill when you flip off the light switch, or that urge to check under the bed even though you know it's ridiculous, don't treat it like a weakness or something you should have outgrown by now. It's the opposite. It's proof that you're carrying around a survival system so effective, it kept your entire species alive for hundreds of thousands of years in a darkness far more dangerous than anything you'll ever face. You're not afraid of nothing. You're afraid of everything your brain was trained, over thousands of generations, to imagine might be out there. And that alarm, uncomfortable as it is at its core a reminder that you're still alive because